मैं एक्चुअली ये जूम यूज करने में थोड़ा सा मेरा हाथ तंग ही चलता है। मैंने रिकॉर्डिंग ऑन कर दी है और मुझे आपका वीडियो भी साफ दिखाई दे रहा है। तो हाँ, आप पहले मैं थोड़ा सा 1 मिनट का एजेंडा बता देता हूँ। एक्चुअली जैसे कि ट्विटर पे मैं आपको बता रहा था कि अक्सर ऐसा देखने को मिलता है कि लोग बड़े-बड़े स्क्रीनशॉट डालते हैं या प्रॉफिट स्टोरीज डालते हैं, या हम लोगों की सक्सेस स्टोरीज इंटरव्यूज में भी पढ़ते हैं या इंटरव्यू में देखते हैं। तो कहीं ना कहीं एक नए ट्रेडर को लगता है कि ये सब बहुत ही ईजी है, बहुत ही सिंपल है दूसरे प्रोफेशन के मुकाबले। तो कहीं न कहीं ये दूसरा एस्पेक्ट छूट जाता है कि इसमें जो साइकोलॉजिकल एस्पेक्ट है ड्रॉडाउन्स का या लॉसेस का, और वो कैसे स्पाइरल आउट होके हाथों से निकल जाता है, वो कोई हाइलाइट नहीं कर रहा है, ऐसा मुझे लगता है अभी के दौर पे। तो मेरी ये जो सीरीज़ ऑफ वीडियो मैं बना रहा हूँ, इसमें मेरी उम्मीद यही है कि लोग इनसे ये सीखेंगे कि आपको सब कुछ आता है, वो तो बहुत बड़ी बात है, धीरे-धीरे इंसान सीखता है। उसके बाद साइकोलॉजिकल अंडरस्टैंडिंग आने में और उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करने में बहुत टाइम लगता है। इफ नॉट ईयर्स, देन इट विल टेक मेनी मेनी मंथ्स, probably more than 12 months or 24 months it might take.
Can take lifetime also.
It can take lifetime also. तो यही इसका मेन वो है। हालांकि मैं डिस्क्लेमर ये डालना चाहता हूँ कि मैं कोई स्क्रीनशॉट वगैरह के अगेंस्ट नहीं हूँ या बड़े जो ट्रेडर्स हैं उनके अगेंस्ट नहीं हूँ। जैसा कि मैंने कई बार ट्विटर पे लिखा भी है कि ट्रेडिंग इज लाइक एनी अदर स्पोर्ट। जैसे क्रिकेट होता है या आपका टेनिस है, कि एक एवरेज लेवल का खेलना तो बहुत इजी होता है, लेकिन प्रो लेवल का खेलना, बहुत अच्छा खेलना, डिस्ट्रिक्ट में सबसे अच्छा खेलना या कंट्री में सबसे अच्छा खेलना, उसमें एक इनहेरेंट टैलेंट भी होता है, टाइमिंग भी होती है, बहुत बड़ा लक फैक्टर भी होता है। तो उन चीज़ों को हम इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते। इंस्पिरेशन के लिए ये सारी चीज़ें सोशल मीडिया में अच्छी रहती है कि हम देख रहे हैं लोग कितना प्रॉफिट बना रहे हैं, बट रियलिटी से, हकीकत से रूबरू होना भी बहुत ज़रूरी है। तो सर, जैसे मैं आपसे पूछ रहा था, आप अपना थोड़ा बैकग्राउंड हमको बताइए कि आप क्या एज है और आप किस प्रोफेशन से बिलोंग करते हैं, और आपने ट्रेडिंग में आपका इंट्रोडक्शन कैसे हुआ था?
So background is that I am basically also an engineer from BHU. So 1980 batch pass out.
ओके सर।
But my current age is 62.
62, ओके।
Yeah. So 1980 BHU, you can understand that that was quite a privileged place to be at that time.
यस।
So basically after that, of course, I chose not to go abroad or for further studies. So I joined the PSU SAIL, and after SAIL, I was with CMC Limited for a long time. Then I was part of Siemens,
ओके,
Siemens India in the metals group.
ओके,
So we were basically as a technology supplier to the steel industry in India.
ओके,
So this was basically from the career front. And how I got introduced to market was, it was sometime in 19, I would say 87, 88, when we had also some kind of a mini bull market. Many people used to talk of markets and this and that. Of course, at that time, I knew nothing of any stock or anything. But I remember, for example, that was the time when Tisco was like, 600 for some reason. Or that's what I remember, something like that. And then it went into a split and hello.
हाँ, हाँ सर, आई कैन हियर यू सर।
Acha.
हुँ।
I see your screen now
नहीं,
or
नहीं,
something.
ये मैं कुछ शायद गलत कंट्रोल दबा दिया। अभी उसको ठीक करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, बट आई कैन हियर यू परफेक्टली। प्लीज़ प्लीज़ कंटिन्यू सर।
Okay. So that time I was like, interested a little bit, what is this market? Then from 87 to almost, I would say about 92, 93, I was outside, but trying to figure out what is going on.
ओके।
92 was the first time when I took let's say, some entry in the market in the form of a mutual fund.
92,
That was at that time, yeah, 92 around.
ओके।
92 or no, not
92 में
92, maybe a little bit earlier.
92 में, although I was a very little kid, my father used to invest in mutual fund, and hottest mutual fund at that point of time was Master Share, Master Gain of UTI, if you remember.
Yes, yes. So it was not 92, maybe 91 or something like this. So before that, I was only investment product I had was ULIP, but ULIP was such a poor product So
Yes.
ULIP I had cancelled because somehow reading here and there, I was finding that this is giving a return which is not worthwhile. Then I went to a mutual fund. It was from a Canara Bank and Plus. In 7 years, you will get 3 times whatever you put in.
Okay.
But in anyway, in after 7 years from that, I got maybe I think 1/3 of the money what I put in. So
One third in the
that is it.
mutual fund or 1/3 in the ULIP?
Nah, ULIP. So anyway, there was very poor return. But in mutual fund also, Can Triple Plus probably was one of a very bad mutual fund at that time. Maybe I think I got out when it was in 97 or so. So that time was probably the worst time for the market. If you may not remember.
Sorry to interrupt you. Just for the benefit of my viewers, those were the times of very high interest rate. 15% interest of, or probably 12% interest rate was given by SBI, Kisan Vikas Patra, and in Indira Vikas Patra. So
Yes,
this was inflation. 92 to 97 was highly inflationary environment, and 10 to 12% was being provided in fixed deposits. And then you got one
exactly.
third of the return in the mutual fund.
Probably. It was something like 1/3 to half. The reason being that if you remember, that the markets had crashed big time.
Yes, 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 yes.
So it was, I think, post Harshad phase, 97, 98, 99. That was probably one of the, what to say, post scam kind of a phase. So it was like this, that in between I was in Delhi for some time. So I had purchased like JP share at 90 rupees. And at that time, 97, that share came to 14 rupees. A share like Hotel Leela in 96, 97 was at peak was 220, which came down to 25 rupees.
From 220 to 25 rupees.
Yes.
Okay.
And in fact, not 25 was also too high. Later on, anyway, Hotel Leela became like, kind of a penny stock.
Yes. Yes.
Now I do not know what is its face.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, looking at the progress of Can Triple and ULIP, I decided that I will do directly, because these guys are basically also only advantage they have over me is that they are full time. But other than that, they do not have any, let's say, internal information that way that or analysis power more than me. I considered myself an intelligent person. So I thought I will do my own study and I will go direct only for the stocks which I like. So some of the stocks at that time, what I had picked up was, I will tell you, United Breweries,
Okay.
Apollo Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Apollo Hospital, I had bought, I think, both of these two. I got less than 50 rupees.
Okay.
Then these two were probably the best ones. Other, of course, JP and all, which were the flavor of the day during those times, I had in plenty.
Mm-hmm.
And then it continued. And 97 was a very bad period, 97 to 2000. And in this period, my whatever I had invested was doing very poor, but I kept on adding more and more. For example, if I had bought 200 shares of JP when it was 90, I bought like 1,000 more when it came to 40.
So you basically you tried to average it when it came down.
Yeah,
Okay.
it came down like the reason I averaged was that I thought that this is some kind of a very panic situation, and I do not need the money now. So if we let it remain, just like it has come down, it will also go up.
Okay.
So that was the thinking.
Okay.
And it did go up. In fact, what I have, if you remember, from about, I think it was about 98 or so, when it started going up a little, especially the IT sector.
Yes. 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 The IT boom.
97, 9,
The Y2K boom.
yeah,
Y2K.
Y2K boom at that time.
Uh,
So, but that time also, before that, I had, for example, bought something like digital equipment and such things. The mistake I did was that when these stocks were going high, digital equipment was going high, I did not believe to what level it will go. So when it went a little bit like 10-15%, I sold it out and bought more of those ones which had not performed till now, hoping that when they will go up, they will go up massively also.
So if I have to,
But that did not happen.
so if I have to summarize it, when any of the portfolio stock went down, you try to average it, basically averaging when it was in loss to bring down the
Yes.
cost price.
Yeah,
And
to basically increase the quantity.
and when the stock started moving up in your favor and it went up by 15% or 20%, you had this kind of a disbelief, and you never believed that it will go 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, or 10 times by 2001.
Precisely.
Okay. Okay.
Now, especially seeing because the other stock which I have, which had come down like 1/5, they have not moved, and some other stock has already moved 15%. So I thought that okay, if there is a movement in the market, then other things also should move. And if others are not moving, only some particular is moving, then most likely this will also either come down, or because this is up, others will also go up. So
Okay.
that was, of course, not the correct thing at that time. Or I will not say correct thing, because other things also did move up, but unfortunately not at the same time. So for example, digital equipment, I sold it, it became double. I bought Hotel Lila, it became half.
Okay.
Even from whatever price I had bought, I think 30-35 rupees, it came to 15 rupees.
Okay.
But I kept it. After 2-3 years, they all went up. For example, this JP which I bought at 14 in I think 2001 or 2002, it became again like 80 plus. Hotel Lila also became like 70-80 rupees or so. So
So
they all went up.
in the entire from 1992 to 1997-98 period, when you thought that you should take things in your own hand, mutual funds were not performing, and you decided that you will do the study by yourself and you will invest in your stock. Did you read any books on stock picking, or you took help from somebody, you attended some course, or you decided to follow somebody's advice in those 5-6 years?
No, none of this. My only thing was that look for the stock. Like for example, why I bought this, what to say, United Breweries. Same reasons that people give now, that okay, alcohol market, people
Yes.
do drink, and alcohol market is increasing.
Right.
So it is profitability was good. It was one of the big companies, very popular. So uh, that was the reason to buy it.
So basically,
Same
media
reason
hype.
Apollo Hospital.
Media
Yeah,
hype.
not media hype. It was my own conviction.
Okay. 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 And
Media hype, I never went for that, because I never, for example, bought things like Videocon and such things which were like big. So
but
Hotel Lila again was the best hotel in the whole country.
right. Right.
Vivek Nair was a very big, very renowned hotelier at that time.
So it's
So
sorry. Basically, in that period, 98, 99, 2000, IT stocks were doing very well. Wipro, Infosys, and all these likes. Even penny IT stocks like DSQ, if you would have heard, were doing pretty well. So you did not get into IT at all?
not really. You can say this was because I was myself in a software field,
Okay.
and I somehow was not able to get convinced with this outsourcing model,
Okay. Okay. So
because the reason is simple. That not simple. I mean, it is a little bit stupid too, because I saw so many of my colleagues or even juniors who were with me leaving for, let's say, this so-called IT kind of a job, and I was not really impressed with the people who were leaving this to for so-called green fields.
right, right. So
They were with
basically,
me, and
if I have to point it out, I mean, it was a you were not basing your decisions on price action, that which stock is under momentum or which stock is making a new high, but you were making conviction based on fundamentals of various kinds.
yeah, you have got it perfectly right.
So when you
So, but in
started
the
hand,
process,
sorry.
yeah,
So
yeah.
when
So
you
basically, in the process, what had happened was that by 2002, I had my portfolio, which was about 2 million rupees, 20 lakh rupees, which was a big sum in 2002.
2002. So how did you react to the market crash in 2000, 2001?
No, I had no IT, so I had
Okay. Okay,
no
so you
big
got saved
impact.
there basically. So by 2000,
Yeah.
by 2002, you had a decent sum of 20 lakh rupees in your portfolio.
Yes.
Were you aware of modern portfolio theory concepts like allocation into different stocks or different de-risking sector wise, or was it a concentrated portfolio?
No, that was actually well distributed. So it was not based on reading any theory or anything, but just a natural, you can say, instinct or whatever I was reading. At that time, the main source of information used to be business newspapers like Economic Times or something like this.
There was a
So whatever
magazine
we,
Dalal Street.
no, not Dalal Street, but because Dalal Street and all, I found that there are basically a lot of biased stories.
Right, right.
So I was looking for news than for any kind of a pumping of any sector or a stock or that kind of a thing. That I thought I will do myself, whatever is I can do. If I cannot do, I will not do it. I will not invest, but I will not depend on anyone else. That was my basic theory.
So from 2002 to 2007-8, we had a massive, unprecedented bull run where stocks like Reliance and HDFC went 3 times, 4 times, 6 times. So
Yeah.
was it a good period for you?
In fact, it was the worst period for me. I will tell you why.
Why?
In 2002, I had a portfolio of 20 lakhs. In that portfolio, I had, for example, UTI Bank. I had the things like Bharti. I had what to say. It was a well diversified portfolio. Uh, BSNL, your also fertilizer stocks, Whirlpool, and I think I had these things like in quantity. In 2002, I had Whirlpool in several thousand, like 5,000 or so. It was, of course, at that time very cheap. Your Chambal fertilizer at that time was when I had picked up was very cheap. I had it in several thousand.
Okay.
So the issue what happened in about 2002 or 2003 was that I also was a frequent traveler abroad. So that and during one of also at that was time when futures were introduced in the market.
Okay.
2002 was I think was the time or three.
Yes, sir.
You
2000. Yeah.
can check on the
Hmm.
so I was one of the very early adapters to futures. My approach in future was basically not for shorting or for trading, but
Hmm.
I was trying to use it as a really as a leveraged portfolio in the sense that okay, for example, I like Hindalco, which was at that time running 60 rupees, and 60 rupees was it was at that time before split and all kind of bonus. So it was a 10 rupee face value at 60 rupees, and I wanted to buy this without giving up any of my other holdings. So, okay, I bought a future of Hindalco. Now, the idea was to keep it as long as forever kind of keep it and it will give me a good return. This was the idea. What
Okay.
happened was that it went down. I am not in town. So every day the stockbroker is coming for getting M to M.
Okay.
So my wife used to sign the check and give it, and then she was getting angry. What is this going on?
But
So
you you
one time
you
when I was
you you took a position in futures and you went abroad. So obviously those were not the times of very frequent communication on mobile phone, etc. So you were not
exactly
keeping a track on MTM on a daily basis.
now, even that I was somehow keeping track because it was I think internet was available to some extent somewhere. But the problem was that like today you can see it at any time and take a decision. At that time, because of the time difference and because of this only day and look at the portfolio or whatever, so it was not possible for me to decide during the day. And when your market is off and then you are looking, you always hope that okay, next day will be better. And also that was not the main thing. The main thing was that I was convinced that this is a good story. So I did not want to give it up.
So basically
So
you had
okay, M to M.
so you had a position in futures But you had not taken a predetermined stop loss.
No, there was no stop loss. It was a kind of a investment kind of a thing, and I had enough cash buffers for me to sustain that position for whatever time it requires. So I was not worried really about it going down. I could have waited for 2 years, 3 years also, not a issue.
Okay.
So problem was not that. Problem happened other way. So because it was not liked by my family that someone is coming for collecting money and this and that, and things are moving too much up and down. So when I was about that 20 lakhs around portfolio, uh, and Nifty was, if I'm not mistaken, it was in 3 digits at that time.
Okay.
When we started, and sorry, I think there was in 2002 or 3, Nifty moved from about 900 to about 1300 or 1400.
Okay.
So that time my portfolio was 20 lakhs plus.
Okay.
Now, again, when I was going out, what I thought that the market is always giving so much problem, and now it is at kind of a reaching its peak, and always it crashes. So let me protect my portfolio.
Okay.
So I made a, so if I have 20 lakhs here as the portfolio, the same amount I made a Nifty short position and went out.
So you took a Nifty short
Nifty short.
in a raging bull
When
market.
it was in the range of, but bull market only you knew much later.
Yes, yes.
I am coming out from a market of 97, 98, where the stocks, what I had in my portfolio, they were like, 14 rupees, 15 rupees, or as I said, Hotel Lila and all also same 15 rupees, and they're already running 70, 80 rupees.
So your stocks were already 4-5 times. So you thought this is the top of the market.
I thought this is quite a good level. So let me protect my level.
Okay.
And took a Nifty short.
Okay.
Because individual stocks all were not also available, I think, in the futures. And I was generally thinking that if the market is remaining okay, then my stocks will also do good. And if the market does not do good for whatever reason, then only there is a risk to the portfolio.
Okay.
So I took a Nifty short, 20 lakhs, at whatever. So more or less same amount. Now what happened was that because market went up, and again I had the same issue that what to say, that I had no stop loss on that position, and I was out for 2-3 months. So during this time, okay, the thinking was that I am protecting my portfolio. So if there is a M2M, let us pay it, and portfolio will compensate for it. I am not looking for a gain or trading position or whatever. But the Nifty movements were, beyond control at that time suddenly.
Yes, yes. Very fast and swift.
Fast, very furious, and so much so that the Nifty positions which I shorted at around 1300 or 1400, by 3400, that the M2M had taken care of all my portfolio and also my other savings, because basically that if you carry a short position from and your Nifty becomes double, you have the same amount of M2M to pay.
Yes, yes.
So that was a very bad time. So only the best bull market, and that time I had to basically sell out my portfolio because of the short position. So that gave me only a learning that okay, one thing you can never do, as you said, that a stock can move to any level. So never short, and do not think that if something has moved to 10 rupees, so it will not move 20 rupees. So this was one learning. So from that time, I learned that, okay, not to short anything. But that was that time. So 2004 or so, I had basically got out of the market for some time.
Okay.
But then again, off and on, little bit here and there. But always had some oversight kind of on the market.
So you were telling
Then
me
what
you were
happened was,
you were telling me in the chat that you earned 1 crore, you paid income tax on that 1 crore, and then
Yeah, this is I coming to that.
okay,
So
okay.
2000, this 2004 story is, as I said, that, there was an investment journey up to 2004, which became net zero. So at that time, my total loss would have been about 44 lakhs or so on
So
those,
from 1991, from Harshad Mehta, or even before that, whatever you were investing and whatever you
that,
had gained by 2004, you lost everything and you became minus 44 lakhs.
no, total loss was 44 lakhs.
44 lakhs by 2004. So basically, not only money you lost, 14 years of hard work or anxiety or whatever we can call it, you lost that also. The sleep,
Yes,
peace of mind.
yes, that is because, as I said, that when I wanted to protect my portfolio, I made a futures nifty short, and that nifty short I carried, and not only carried, I even added more to it, thinking that this is,
Top. Basically, you try
that
to predict the top of the market.
predict the top of the market, and did not put a stop loss. I thought that I have a sufficient portfolio or savings or income to take care of M2Ms, and one day or the other, I had, let's say, I had made a short on the Nifty at its all-time high. So that high will again be revisited, not today, in 6 months. So I will recover everything.
Okay, so this was
But
up
that
to
did not happen,
2004,
of course.
and after 2004.
As I said, after 2004, I needed also some money here and there. So I was not in the market big way. That 2004 to 2012 or 13, it was a very, like, small, some kind of one or two lots here and there. So that way it continued. And 2013, there was a kind of, our metal industry post this global financial crisis was going in a big suit. And I was attached to the Siemens Metals. And that time our company was trying to downsize. So they had a like option that you can take a kind of a retirement. They will pay you some lump sum money and this and that. So I thought that, okay, let us do this. All the time I have been spending on and viewing the market. So let us try now. Get the money, get a lump sum money, and let us try. So 2013, I took that option and re-entered the market. That was the time when Modi's hype was going on, Modi infrastructure and all those things. So that was the time when I entered the market with about, I would say, about 70, 80 lakhs capital. And this capital became from 80 lakhs to 1.5 lakh crores or so.
From 80 lakhs,
By
it
the
became
time of,
1.5 crore, basically.
yeah.
Okay.
Because I entered in about 2013. Entry was a little bit at a very volatile time. This was just a taper tantrum when I entered the market and tantrums started.
So till now, not only you're timing the market, but I think there was a lot of bad luck also that I can see from the hindsight, because when you entered mutual fund, you did not get the right mutual fund, because I think HDFC mutual fund was launched, or ICICI mutual fund was launched in 1995, 96, and up to 2015, they gave 20% return every year.
Yeah,
Similarly,
but this
sorry?
the Canara Bank one, the one where which I took did not give any return at all.
So basically, there you are very unlucky. Probably you did not get good advice at that point of time. As it happens that whenever we all are new, we go to people who might not be expert in the field, but who are basically our relatives, or who are the trusted person, and or probably people to whom we look up to in any other profession, like a doctor or a chartered accountant who might be good with accounting and so on. So that there I see one bad luck. Second, you did not participate in the IT boom because of the you took a stand of sticking to value investing or fundamental investing. And third, 2004 the mega bull run started and you had to take out your money for some personal expenditure. So there you were unlucky. If you would have invested just like that, probably you would have made your money 3-4 times by 2008.
Probably. But as I said, 2004, I went for a house.
Okay.
I had to invest in a flat. So some amount I had to pay as a down payment, and then there was the EMI, and also my savings got little bit restricted.
Okay. So
Then their children were also growing up, and they had education expenses became up and all those things. So that was the anyway.
So basically,
that was some amount of
after 2012-13, you had a one good luck where you converted 70 lakhs into 1.5 crore or more than that, and you paid income
yes.
tax on that.
Yeah, on that I paid some income tax. No, not that. In 2000, as I said, I entered in 2013. 2013 was July, August was precisely the period when I entered. I think July was the time I entered, and then July middle started the taper tantrum.
Okay.
So first was, it was a big downtime from. So I had minus 20 lakhs or so by September, October. Then it recovered. So by the end of the year, I was positive again, some 15, 16 lakhs, and I paid tax on that. Fine. Next year, when the Modi came, 2015, 2014, this May, that time Modi came, and that was a real good period. So at that time, I became total fund became like 1.5, 1.6 crores or so.
Okay.
The and that time also it was distributed. I had something like in metals like Tata Steel, something in petroleum like Reliance, something in Power Grid, something in L&T, all so-called blue chip, ITC. So this was relatively quite good, and I had well distributed also.
Okay.
The problem came, if you remember, in 2014. One of the first things which Modi did after coming up was there was a gas price decision for this oil industry.
Yes.
Maybe you don't recollect so much.
No, I recollect
recollect.
there was a fight between ONGC and Reliance also, which went up to Supreme Court, where KG Basin pricing, government's hydrocarbon DG had collided with RIL. That was the allegation by ONGC, and then
No, that was a different thing.
Achha,
You are talking about that. They said that Reliance has taken over their gas. But I am saying another, that before the Congress government went out, there was a proposal to hike the natural gas price from whatever was going on to
it
by
was a
about
big
30,
issue that also
40%.
went up to Supreme Court only, and DG Hydrocarbon had to decide, and it was contested in the Supreme Court. Basically, imported
And then,
gas was
but
far
Modi
cheaper than
government,
what
when
was
they,
being proposed by RIL.
yeah, but then when Modi came, in September, October or so, they made the gas decision, and against the popular expectation that gas price will increase 30%, they made it, I think, down 30%.
Yes.
But they came up with a new formula which took the price from all the cheap places and all those things, made an average, and then they said this is the price. There was a political angle, of course, to teach Reliance a lesson or whatever you can say. This is my thinking. But impact on me was that at that time Reliance was one of the major portfolio with me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just one moment, my cable is. So, so Reliance was one of the major component of my portfolio, even in derivatives. Okay, one thing I forgot to tell you, that all this, in what I'm saying, this was not only on the direct investment kind of a thing. I always have maintained a derivative portfolio, and
So
the gains
basically,
happened
you
only
had a
because
you had a portfolio of 1.5 crore, and on that you had lot of derivative positions, which makes your actual exposure much larger than 1.5 crore, which makes it
yes,
around 2 crore or 2.5 crore, because derivatives are
no,
leverage products. I am assuming that you have not leveraged
no.
entire money.
Entire money leverage. That was the thing. So when I
You had
started like
you had
80
leveraged
lakhs,
entire 1.5 crore, and at that point of time, SEBI was allowing 1:7 or 1:10 leverage in many of the stocks, right?
exactly.
Okay, so
So
you
I
were
had
highly leveraged.
not highly leveraged. So when I had 80 lakhs capital, I leveraged to, for example, about 3.5 to 4 crores was the position.
So basically, five
So
times you had leveraged. Five times.
almost 4 to 5 times.
Okay.
So when I had 1.5 crores as my total stock or whatever was the value, that time I was leveraged to 7 crores.
Okay.
And
So here I
the
want to stop
Reliance
you
is
for a second. This was a major chunk of money for you, and given your age and all. So whatever people say on TV or an advisors say that put something in debt fund or take some financial advisors advice, or take some financial help from people who are doing it for years. All this you did not, it did not come to your mind, or you simply ignored this advice.
no, I just did not do it because the reason is simple that I did not have that kind of a capital which I can put only in debt fund and then I can live peacefully. Had I been in that situation, I would not have gone for derivatives or direct investing. But the whole idea was that we are in an economic boom phase. If this is not just like what I had seen in 2002 to 2007, and then there was a big downfall. So I thought that okay, that story was stopped, and now maybe we restart that story. So if we go with the same way, so what we are seeing Nifty today, when say Modi came, it was around 6,000 or some odd
6,400. So
7,000 maybe.
basically, let me ask you another question. When you made from 70 lakhs to 1.5 crore within a very short period of
Yeah.
time, so was the recent success a reason for you to take so much of leverage, five times leverage, and being very confident that you will be able to channelize the present boom of infrastructure, to benefit? Was it the reason, or second was that you were nearing towards your retirement age and you had certain corpus in your mind that you want to reach this particular milestone in terms of savings, and for that you are ready to take extra risk?
No, both,
Both.
both. I had both.
So
I had
basically the
thinking.
previous
So
success
one,
and converting it to 100% is a very very good success for especially this kind of investment. We're not talking about trading because these are long term bets. And second was a very unrealistic near term goal, right, sir?
no, it was not unrealistic.
Okay.
Why do you say unrealistic?
uh,
Because I had a
Converting
simple
something
thing.
100% at a 5x leverage, to me it looks a little difficult.
My theory was very simple. If the market if goes up 10 to 12% in the year,
Yes,
then your leverage position, which is like if you are 6 times leverage,
it will go six times, it will
you
make you
get 70,
60%. uh,
yeah, 70%. And if you have, for example, the total exposure, sorry, total corpus, if you have like 1.5 crores, you add 1 crore to it every year. Take out all the like
but sir, the problem is,
rollover cost and
if something of a meltdown as we saw in March 2020, if it happens in any of the months during the time of the investment, then the corpus will go to zero, because 30% dip will also be multiplied five times in a leverage portfolio.
correct. So that's why when I was running this portfolio, I had a very diversified. So like something in utilities, something in FMMC, yeah,
FMCG.
FMCG, something in something in bank, something in commodities. So the thinking was that not everything will go suddenly in one way. highly unlikely. And the worst case worst, if it, for example, if it goes out. So by 2015, by 2014, more or less from the children front, I was free. On the real estate front, I was living in a house which belonged to me. I had another one real estate this thing. So in worst case worst, if this becomes zero also, I would have a let's say possibility to restart. That was the
Okay.
thinking.
Okay.
And if I do not take the risk, there will be no gain.
Okay.
I can always take a no risk kind of a approach. But then no risk means I don't get anything. I don't
Ab-
get money also for. And there is
Absolutely.
no other way which I can take.
Absolutely.
So it was a conscious decision that no, I know fully well that this is a risky business, but I try to, let's say, take care of the risk by diversifying, and by worst case worst, by keeping a kind of a portfolio, not portfolio, by keeping the backstop in terms of, let's say, as I said, the real estate,
Okay.
you know.
So then what
So,
went wrong?
okay,
Subsequent.
that's what I'm coming to.
Okay.
So Reliance was a big portion of my portfolio, and based on this gas price decision, the Reliance stock, which was supposed to be going up, thinking of this good cycle of petroleum and maybe also that other things, whatever they are doing, suddenly it had a more than 6% fall in one day
Yes. Yes.
because of the gas price. And not only this 6% fall, then it kept falling and it fell more than 15%.
Okay.
So this was one big thing. Okay, but as per my policy, I will, let's say, I will take a hit on my total portfolio and whatever, but I was not willing to make a a stop loss kind of a thing, because okay, this is going down today, tomorrow will go up and will make up. As long as my total portfolio, for example, if I have 1.5 crore, if it is within the range of, let's say, if it goes down by 10 lakhs, I don't bother. Because it will again come up in some time, because I have diversified. So if Reliance has gone down by 15 lakhs in derivatives, something else has gone up by 2-3 lakhs or so. So total hit is not coming that much. So that was the okay. But what happened then? 2014, it was Reliance. We continued. After that, if you remember that the Modi story, the 2014 May Nifty was very good. After that, again it was going up, but I now don't often remember what was. But I continued this, and the biggest problem came to me from 2015, uh, around I would say July, August. Then suddenly this I had a big portfolio in metals, that is Tata Steel.
Okay.
So this portfolio was built up at the price range of about 350, 400 or so. And this position, then suddenly the metals went into such a down cycle that this became from not 400, not to 15% down, it became 200 rupees.
Okay.
In 2015, probably if you will see this price history, the fast and furious way in which Tata Steel went down, same way like, Reliance was also crashing the same way. So several stocks crashed big way.
Okay.
And then also I had another stock with me, which was my biggest failure in life. That was IDFC.
IDFC. Okay.
Yeah, IDFC was also the same way, that when I had invested in that, this is a chapter in itself. So when I had basically looking for finance stocks, so I was not really enthused with the promoter-based companies or a small NBFCs or this or that, like Bajaj Finance, but it is a promoter-based company. Whatsoever maybe the management, we always hear that they're good managements fail anytime. When you find out that big problem. So I was looking for a finance company which is not promoter based, which is big enough, and which has a future. So IDFC at that time was no promoter. It was about quite a lot. One of the only two companies to get the banking license from this
RBI.
RBI. Yeah. Also in 2014 it was, or 2013, that even LIC had taken a position in IDFC at about 139 or 140. So I thought that this is something which has a promise and will be good. So at around 160, I had taken a reasonably big position in that. So basically, all throughout my time, my approach had been to have position in not more than 6 to 7 stocks. So you can imagine that it was roughly equally divided.
Okay.
15%, 20% of the total in each of them. So IDFC was also taken that way at about 160. And then IDFC, if you are in the market, you know that what happened to IDFC.
Okay. So in a growing market from 2014, we have seen a bull run, and in
Up
other
to
stocks also.
2015 middle, it was very nice. I had reached, as I said, my total money had reached 1.65 was the peak at that time.
Okay. And then the down journey started because you were concentrated in 6, 7 stocks, IDFC, Reliance, and all these stocks did not perform. In fact, Reliance went down only. IDFC went down only.
Reliance went down. And basically, the stocks started going down one after the other. They did not go down together. They did not.
Lot of different stories
like,
you had selected. Reliance was a margin refinery story. IDFC was a infrastructure based lending, and that too institutional lender and so on. But unfortunately, everything started with whatever was there in your portfolio. Everything started going down, right?
Exactly. That is what happened, and all because of some reasons which you could not have predicted looking at the company fundamentals. For
But you
example,
did
when
not have
Cisco
any
went
kind of
down,
in a leverage portfolio, 5x leverage portfolio. You did not have any kind of stop loss in these stocks. You did not take a stop loss.
no, the stop loss was against my principle.
Okay.
Because I was taking kind of portfolio approach that I will, if I am taking a position, just like if I take a cash position, and then unless and until I reach my target, I will not do anything with that. Same was with the leverage position.
I see
And
a
I
lot
thought
of
that I am
other people also on Twitter doing the same approach. There is a guy on Twitter who has ITC and United Breweries and some 6, 7 stocks which he keeps talking about, and those stocks are still not performing well. So I see a lot of guys doing this portfolio approach without a stop loss. So which is very common probably. So you must be following what was the trend at that point of time. These stocks were hot at that point of time.
yeah, but as I said, I was not a trend follower in that sense. I went to what I thought. I went to those companies which were supposed to be the leaders. For example, Tata Steel was one company which I led as a steel maker.
Okay.
Long time we have seen Tata Steel, and because of my exposure also to the metal industry and all, I knew that Tata Steel from the fundamentals, at least what we have seen in Jamshedpur. I had also been to Tata Steel Chorus for in a different capacity as an engineer at that time. So I believed in that company fundamentally. But
Okay.
stock price became from 400 to 200. That is a totally technical setup.
Okay.
And when it became 200, you have also seen that from 200 it again became 500.
Mm-hmm.
But my issue became, from 1.65, then the portfolio started going down. First, it was like, going down because of Reliance. Then suddenly Tata Steel started going down, and going down in such a way that you difficult to manage. And when there was a time when I had, for example, always used to keep 15-20 lakhs as cash to take care of this
MTM fluctuation.
M to M kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then when the cash is out and you have to still take care of the M2M, okay, then sell some stock. That then is you know kind of like you are carrying the futures position, but you are taking loss on the cash position, but still carrying the futures.
Right.
That way, then the buffers become small and small.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Reliance, Tata Steel, then came also the finance stocks then started becoming down. By September, October of 2015, metals and commodities, they were extremely beaten down.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that it was difficult. Although from Tata Steel from 400, I was carrying even up to 220.
Mm-hmm.
So all my positions intact. But then it became from 220, it became to 200. And along with it, also the finance positions, what I had like IDFC and SBI Bank, they are also going down.
Mm-hmm.
So then it becomes like a question that now you just do not have any cushion, and then you have to cut down, because even if you have 6 diversified things, all did not go down together. One went down, you had the cushion, you kept the position. Second went down, you still could manage. Third went down, also you could manage. Then fourth and fifth also start going down. Then you do without the others recovering, then it is a big problem. So from 1.65, from the peak in about what when did we say? From about I think for April or May of 2015,
Mm-hmm.
it became around 80 by November, and then again by then in November, then I basically got out of the commodities. It looked
Okay.
like that
So
there is no
after
bottom to
it
this.
corrected around 50%, then you squared off all the commodity stocks.
Yeah, because it looked like as if there is no tomorrow for these companies. It was going down, 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 and finance companies were still remaining stable. So I kept the finance, which were not got down.
Mm-hmm.
Means stop loss is not something which we had not heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Only we did not keep it like 5% stop loss, but after two it became 50%. Then if we have to make a choice, like something has to be sold, some
Mm-hmm.
positions. So which position to sell off? Definitely not the ones which have not performed that badly. You
Mm-hmm.
then at that time, whatever, like it or not, but it's something which is going down, down, down only. And despite your conviction, if it is going down like this, then to get out of that, the only thing you can say, why at 50% down? You could have got down when it was 20% down, but that is a different story, because 20% down was part of the game. That okay, if it goes 20% down, but how does it matter? Something else is going up.
So
It's going
how
down. It
was
is
your
a
mental makeup and psychology when you started seeing 40-50% correction on a leverage portfolio which was leveraged 5 times? Were you unhappy from inside or anxious from inside, or it was just business as usual for you?
no, it was of course very much anxious, because even if on the one hand it was psychologically not so bad, because as I told you, I started with 80 lakhs in 2013. So as long as I had, let's say, in 2015 again 80 lakhs, so whatever was up and down, I was not losing on my capital.
Okay.
And I had seen also down, lot of down, lot of up. So to that extent, I was at peace. But anxiety, of course, when you see screen red, portfolio red, M2M, huge amounts every day, so this becomes a big problem. But
Okay.
nevertheless,
Mm-hmm.
so in October or so, it was like 80 lakhs.
Okay.
That my yeah,
Portfolio value.
portfolio value, yeah, and accordingly, of course, leverage positions were in the same way. But in that time, I had mostly the finance stocks.
Okay.
Now, what happened? If you would recollect 2015 and early 2016, something happened and either the global markets went down, or especially the financial stocks in India, they went down very much.
Yes, yes.
So by 2016 January, believe it or not, this 80 lakhs became 5 lakhs.
5 lakhs.
Yeah.
From 80 lakhs, you had 75 lakhs drawdown. Almost 90% drawdown, 95% drawdown you saw.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it was basically an account which blew up again. So 80 lakhs became almost zero by 2016, I would say January end.
Okay.
So this is one chapter. So one big chapter we had from 95 to 2004.
So when it started coming down from 80 lakhs uh, to, let's say, 60 lakhs or 50 lakhs or 40 lakhs, did you seek anybody's help, or did you think of squaring off everything and going away from the market? Or is it the nature of the market that whenever you have loss, it attracts you more towards it?
No, it's not that it attracts more towards it. Unfortunately, the losses, when they happened suddenly and so big that it was not probably possible to do something at that time. So I give you, for example, some example. Say IDFC suddenly on a Friday, say it is doing okay up to 2 o'clock, and then suddenly it falls down 6 to 7% from 215 to 330, and that too on a Friday. Now, I still remember, for example, which Friday it was or which month, I don't remember, but it was like, suddenly you see from almost flat position up to 230, you suddenly end up with a 30 lakhs M2M.
In a single day?
Even if you have,
in a single day?
Yeah, or for the day.
For the day.
Single
day.
So that is a deadly situation. You cannot do at that point from 215 to 330. You cannot take that kind of a view that something will change so drastically. Why it is 30 lakhs loss? 7%? Because of the positions are concentrated. They are in, and that by that time the leverage value was also much higher.
Yes.
Because initially I used to keep 5 to 6 times, but when the portfolio value was going down and you try to keep the maximum position, so naturally the leverage is also going high. So, and then when you have 30 lakhs M2M, then the problem is that you don't want to cut down on a Friday evening thinking that maybe the Monday will be better, but Monday also does not turn out to be better. So
what was the reaction of your family members, of your children, or you had informed others, or it was solely your private decision and endeavor?
The family was, of course, always involved. So they took it like, that this is the fate kind of a thing.
But
because
30 lakhs in those times was a big amount, and that too losing in a single afternoon in 1 hour, it must be very destabilizing.
It is. At some point it becomes just a number. It is destabilizing. It always becomes problematic to come to terms with it, that how we will sustain and this and that. But then, as I said, that before entering the market, I had taken a decision that okay, this is the way I will try to live. So whatever happens, we will live that way.
Okay.
That was a well thought out decision. It can go down. We will hope that it will go up, but it can always totally blow up. If it blows up, we had a strategy number 2.
So basically, you had a stable job and you had a house which was paid off. You had no liabilities, financial liabilities towards your children. So all this made your mind a little relaxed during the adversity also. I mean, any other young person who would have been trading or investing with borrowed money or borrowed conviction in your situation would have been devastated, right, sir?
Yeah, even I was devastated, not that.
Okay, okay.
But as I said, that when I go somewhere with eyes open, I'm perfectly aware that there is a risk. And I was what I was trying to avoid was post trading. One thing I had decided that I cannot be a trader. I can analyze maybe on a macro basis. I can analyze news here and there. But if I want to trade like 1%, 2% moves, I will always end up in a failure. Because for that, the kind of setup you need or the kind of decision making which is required, I'm not equipped with that. So that I will not do. And if I will not do trading, I also will not do forced trade. So stop loss is kind of a forced trade. I will not do. So, and if the account blows up, blows up. But then we will see what happens. So you will see also what happens now.
Mm-hmm.
So 2016 January, we became 5 lakhs. Now this is all the money I have, cash. And of course, there is a life to live and big problems and everything. So by this time, I have not paid too much tax. I have paid, I think, 14 lakhs 1 year, 5 lakhs another year. So about 19 lakhs income tax I have paid.
Okay, okay.
And but this particular year, 2015-16, I have 5 lakhs left. Now, then as I said, that I had a flat, another property. So I raised money against this LAP, loan against property.
Basically, to our new viewers, you took a loan against property given by banks, which is generally at a 3-4% higher rate than the prevailing secured interest rate. For example, right now, loan against property by any reputed bank will be around 11%, 12%, and they give you a loan of around 50 to 60% of the market value as the loan,
Exactly.
market value of the property.
30% the 30 lakhs loan.
So you took a 30 lakh loan against your existing property.
Yes, against existing property. In 2016 February. Okay.
Okay.
So now see the beauty that again, see at that time, from the point when I have, let's say when I had 5 lakhs rupees only left. So this main IDFC had come down, IDFC Bank, to I think 34 rupees. No, not 34, 38 or so. And IDFC was in the range of 42 or so, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So out of this 30 lakhs, again, I made an allocation. So IDFC, something to Tata Steel, and some else like what? A little bit. Up till now, I was not following any tips or any news. But then I also I took some bet in Idea Cellular.
Okay.
So this 30 lakhs to start with, also this budget I think was good or whatever. But from January, which was the bottom, the market started performing well, and this 30 lakhs became around 45, 50 lakhs very fast. I think it was by March end or so. It became 55 lakhs.
Okay.
One of the major contributor was at that time Idea, which I had entered at 109. It went to 120 or so. People said that it will go to 150, but I said, okay, 110 is good enough. I got out of that. No, 110. I got 10 rupees in the best positions. I got out of that. So I was 50 plus from 30 to this. Quite at peace. That was about March end or so.
Mm-hmm.
Then started all these gyrations from this Brexit.
Brexit. Yes, yes.
So that was very volatile. But nevertheless, I mean, from 55 lakhs, we came again down to 35, 30 days that, but moving like this, I was always long because knowing from the 2004 experience, after that I had never shorted.
Okay.
So all my positions all during this time has always been long. Huh? So, but somehow by the time this Brexit ended in June, even that time I remained long. And during this period, I had been in SBI and IDFC was of course there. So by the end of June, I think I was back to about 55 to 60 lakhs.
Okay.
In 2016. From June to October, November was a fantastic period. Especially what happened during this time was one of the very big thing happened that IDFC started moving very fast and funny. From about let's say 42 where I had entered it first time, it had moved to 50 or so, and then there was some rumors that there will be reverse merger and this and that. So IDFC moved from 50 to around this 75 plus.
Okay.
There was IDFC Bank. Also, I was there in cash. IDFC Bank was only cash, not leverage. That also was moving quite a lot. We talk that IDFC Bank will become, merge and this whatever. So, and SBI also moved pretty well. And believe it or not, I will have to see exactly what was it. But from 60 in about, I would say May end or June, the total value became 3 crores by this October end.
So basically, from 60 lakhs, you had taken a house loan against your house, which was 30 lakhs. You made it to 60 lakhs. 30 lakhs, you made 60 lakhs. And this 60 lakhs became 3 crore within 6 months.
Not 6 months. Within, I would say, from May to October middle, June, July, August, September. These 4 months were like crazy.
Okay, so 3 crore it became. Then what happened?
Then what happened? Then is also very interesting. And first thing which happened was that when it became 3 crore, at that time I was, then I had the desire that I have to get out of this market some little bit because this is really too fast, too furious.
Too fast, too wild. And I am assuming you are reaching towards 60 also, because now you are 62. So I'm assuming you're
yeah, exactly.
And so I have one quick question. Did you pay back the loan that you had taken against the house, which was 30 lakhs, given that you had earned 3
this
crore?
I had paid in August.
You had paid it already. So now this 3 crore was the new money which you had generated.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this time I was, kind of top of the world. That all the previous problems forgotten and everything. And
why didn't you get out of the market? 3 crore is a big sum, to retire forever, and you could have just cashed your chip and exit the casino.
This is, of course, I could have done this, but as I said, that the idea is not to just get out. In hindsight, now it looks like okay, I could have got out, but at that time, what is the reason for going out? All this life, if I see it, so if I had, for example, kept at 20 lakhs what I had in 2002, that also would have become much more than 3 crores.
Right.
If I have, so I see no big reason to, let's say, be afraid of a 3 crore figure. That this is too much and let's get out. Not something which unimaginable. So the idea was, yes, that this is too fast, too furious, that it needs to be diversified and diversified out of the market.
Okay.
In some way, it has to be diversified out of the market. And another thing was that when I say you 3 crores, you can imagine that you are in a accountancy this thing, that this 3 crore was new money. If you take the income tax on that, then you are left with only 2 crores.
2 crores.
And 2 crores was not my targeted amount. My targeted amount was in the range of 4 plus. 4
Okay.
plus, I would have could have gone cold turkey, but 2 was still not enough for living the life completely. Means I would need some kind of a income even on top of this 2 crores money, and that income cannot be without derivatives.
Okay.
Because even if you have a 2 crore portfolio, uh, very lucky if you are, generally 8 to 10% is what max you will get. Pay tax on that, take care of other expenses. You never know what you will end up with. Just about living, you cannot grow the corpus.
Okay.
So I had to, this was, this is kind of a business. So I had to take out some money, and I had to take out I had to make some setup where this income tax thing can be taken care of in a little bit better way.
So you entered into real estate?
Yeah, I went for the real estate. If you see my Twitter handle, it says me partner, blue stock trader and investor. So that was the time in 2016 September. Like the idea started germinating in August, and in September I basically took the first steps that I will go for my own. Let's say first of all a partnership firm, my wife. So 2 partners, they will get salary or whatsoever. So some amount of income tax will be reduced. Went for another company, which is like global property leasing, which went for a commercial real estate. And that commercial real estate, I bought like a office space. Idea was that what I'm working from home, I will work from an office, which maybe my children also can join if the thing can continue.
Okay.
So that office cost was by September end, I think. No, it was September end, yeah. But in September, I found this office from DLF. Cost was total cost in the range of 75 lakhs. A smallish office, but nevertheless good enough, 1250 square feet. And I started the work for all this partnership form and all everything. Now the problem what now happened was that in October no, I think September, we were in the range of 3 crores total money.
Okay.
Then September end, suddenly, if you remember, there was this surgical strike.
Yes, yes. Everybody remembers.
So the surgical strike on Pakistan, but it also was a surgical strike on my portfolio. So what was like 3 crores, it suddenly became 2.5.
Okay.
So मोदी जी की कृपा, ठीक है, सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक आप कर रहे हो, हम भी देशभक्त हैं, चलो we will do this everything. But then from September to October, like hanging on again, little bit growing, from again became 2.75. In the parallel, the other things are going on what I was trying to plan. Then happened this bloody the other gift from Modi ji. It
Demonetization.
was this Notbandi.
Yes.
Demonetized.
All the finance stocks took a nosedive.
Precisely. And I had this time the total exposure on 8th November, I had in the range of 14 or 15 crores.
So you had an exposure 5 times again of 3 crore, which was 15 crore exposure on a capital of 2.5 crore.
No, capital had become by it had increased back to about 2.8 or 3 or
So
something
on
like
a 3
this.
crore capital, you had an exposure of 15 crore. So any 20% dip or 30% dip would have wiped out the entire capital.
Precisely.
Okay.
But, before going for this notebandi thing, this 30% dip sudden is kind of, you cannot think that market will suddenly go down 30% in one night or something like this. This is not the, or whatever you do, this is not a calculation.
But sir,
Because
you must be remembering when Mr. Chidambaram was the finance minister, P. Chidambaram, and he came with a proposal of banning P notes. That day, Nifty took a intraday, it went down 17%, and there was a circuit of 10% at 10 o'clock only. So market goes by jitters of 10 to 20% on index. Certain stocks went 30%, 40% during Chidambaram's time.
10% it goes. Anyway, that Chidambaram, when he was doing this P note thing, that time probably I was not that much in the market.
Yes,
So
yes.
that circuit breaker is one of the circuit breakers which I have not personally faced or remember.
Okay.
But
So what happened
otherwise,
after this demonetization? Your portfolio went down?
the demonetization is the worst thing that happened, because believe it or not, first thing is at that day morning, the markets when they opened in that way. So up till now, my broker was very cooperative with me. We had made with him some agreements that there is exposure margin and spend margin.
Mm-hmm.
But they said, okay, for you are running good big positions and good client. So we will not charge you this. We will work only with this pen.
How much
So basically,
brokerage
I
you're
was
paying, sir,
allowed
in 1 year in 2016? Total brokerage, how
what
much you're paying?
total brokerage. Brokerage, I don't remember, but stamp duty, I used to this STT.
Mm-hmm.
I have paid more than 2 lakhs also in a year.
Oh, wow, wow. So your broker started after the demonetization. Your broker started acting difficult.
No, not after the demonetization is not finished yet.
Okay.
So on the demonetization day, the market started 16%, 17% finance stocks down.
Mm-hmm.
So especially like IDFC,
Mm-hmm.
which was 18% down. State Bank I had, it was not so much down, but it was going down from 255. I think was the previous day close. It opened at about 245 or so and was going down. Now I did not panic, but my broker panicked.
Okay.
And what he did was that on his own side, he cut some positions.
Okay.
So like 5 crores worth of exposure he cut.
Okay.
That market, no one knows what will happen. It's going down and it's only going down.
So did he inform you on phone, or he cut it on his own?
He cut his own, not
Okay.
informed.
Okay.
So he cut his on his own, and means I am looking, of course, that there is a big, like, there were about 70, 80 lakhs M2M, and not only M2M, even the holding value is going down.
Mm-hmm.
So from whatever the risk management team that at that end they panic. So they did a 5 lakh position cut, and when they did this, so that I got panicked. I said, these people, when they are getting panic and they are still crying that oh, if you can reduce more, because this market, we do not know where this will end. So then by 12:30, I closed all the positions.
Okay.
And I was at that time also a little bit pissed off with the broker why he closed down my position, why he did not ask me or something. So I was angry with him.
Mm.
So that was also one reason. So I closed down all my position, sold the stocks, first of all to cover his M2M, and also then I said that I will not keep any account with you because you are doing closing positions like this. So why should I trade with you? I thought I will get out my money and everything. So that day, single day, the M2M and this loss on the sold stock altogether was 1 crore.
Okay.
Sounds very funny. You can say that how can someone talk about like these big numbers?
No, no, this is even lesser than what I had thought, because market was going down in a very swift manner, and you had all the finance stocks only in your portfolio, most of them.
No, I
And
had
then
not only finance.
and at
I had
12:30, probably
finance.
at the lowest point in the market during the day, on a very event specific day, your broker cut down all the positions and you squared off everything. So I thought loss would have been more than 30%, but I am pleasantly surprised that it was only 30% of the portfolio value.
Yeah, because I had one of the major stock in my portfolio, about 4.5 to 5 crores exposure was SBI. And luckily, SBI did not fall like 15-18%.
Yes, yes.
So ITC fell much less in the morning. ITC was one of the position which I cut myself very early at I think 5% loss. SBI, something was cut by my broker at the lowest point, something I cut, but even at the lowest point also it was I think only 6 to 7% down.
Okay.
So these two were not that much down. So it was 1 crore loss. And then I was visited my broker's office. I said that please, I have done everything, whatever is required, so you will transfer me the money. That time they were saying, okay, no, look, we could not do anything, and this is such a situation, what to do. But then they talked here and there, and they said, okay, if you like, you can take the position again. Because whatever price we had got out at, the market is at the either at the same level, most of the stocks, or even lower. So this was around 1 o'clock or so. But then I said that look, once we are out for whatever reason, there's no point in again taking it. So let us follow that principle that if you have to take a loss, you take a loss and get out. Fine. So end of the story at that time. So from about 2 point what 2.75 or so, which it was at the beginning of November, the day I got out from this, it was 1.3 crores.
Okay.
1 crore loss, and another some I think 20-30 was the M2 during the November first week or so.
Okay.
So, and the beauty of this whole thing is that if by any chance had I not taken that panic decision,
Mm-hmm.
that day actually I would have ended in a positive way.
Yes, yes. That was the lowest point. 12:30, 1 o'clock. You sold everything probably at the lower point. Then eventual rally was very ferocious.
Yeah, rally was ferocious, and rally was the best in the big banks like SBI. I still remember, I think it went like 265 or something like this. It closed. Previous day was 255, and it closed at 265. I had 5 crores worth of position, which, but I was totally out at 12:30 when it was running in the range of I think 240 or so.
Okay. Then what
But
happened?
had I then I got out from that. This time my broker was Edelweiss all this time.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to this ICICI broker again.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but till now my this it was still in the individual account only. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
My partnership things are still in the works.
Okay.
So now, okay, 1.29 I is opened with the account with the not opened. I had always the account with ICICI, which I was not actually using. It was dormant, but then I make that active and again took positions there. So, but nothing worthwhile happened in this too much, except uh, what happened. Yeah. So I took positions again in this IDFC, Siemens, L&T, Reliance, SBI, same similar portfolio, maybe a little bit reduced. And I was continuing with that. What happened with then? That one thing which happened was that a big loss happened. I think this was the time when IDFC Bank. Yes. Yeah. What happened was that this story of demerger or all was forgotten. IDFC Bank futures were introduced. And when IDFC Bank futures got introduced, I think that was also the time when this Malaysian company wanted to get out of IDFC. They sold IDFC 10%, or maybe this time, or maybe earlier. I will have to recollect. But IDFC Bank suddenly went down from about 70 to
38.
Range of 60 or so.
Okay.
Low 60s. One day. This is post demonetization and all.
So single day drop of more than 10%.
I think around 10%, if not more than that. So anyway, but I continued with that. I had this IDFC, I had Reliance, I had Siemens, I had many things. And okay, from 1.29 also, now when I got out with 1.29, so this was the year when I paid 30 lakhs income tax.
Okay. In spite of the losses, you paid 30 lakhs income tax because the same year you had earned 3 crore.
No, if you remember, the year started with almost a zero account.
Yes. Right.
Almost zero.
So 30 lakhs income tax you paid, and after that you were left with 1.3, 1.4 crore.
No, 1.3 was in November, that total money. So income tax we had to pay out of this.
So 1 crore you left. You're left after that.
Around 1 crore. Now by this time also the things had, I had made the legal structure for the other things. Now the question is that with 1 crore what to do? We either continue with the market or the decision to make that property was taken when we had 3 crores with us. So that time we wanted to make the property, but now we are left with 1 crore. So either cancel that property and lose some booking amount, whatever we had paid, or what to do. So luckily, or unluckily, whatever it happened, that then when I had to make the payment, that time the market started a little bit improving, especially this Reliance, even IDFC. So both of these, they improved a little bit, and it was like this, that okay, I can pay that off and I will still be left with 60, 70 lakhs. So not an issue. So both improved. And the problem now happened what? That when the market was improved and when I have to take out money from this. So where to take it out from? I had almost, I would say, roughly the same amount. Again, 1.39 crores, not 1.39. Yeah, about 1 crore, 1.2 crores total corpus, leveraged maximum whatever it can. In the meantime, once I had closed from Edelweiss, but they again came to me after some time that please, that was a special day, they are wrong and this and that, so this will never happen again. So let us start again. So I had made them sign an undertaking that they will never close my positions without me. And I have still a mail from them saying that they will carry the positions even if I have only 5% total. You understand?
Yes, yes,
5%.
yes, yes.
That if on an intraday basis, even if I hit on a 5% level, they will not close my positions. On carryover basis, I was allowed, that I have to have minimum 7% margin. They will allow the position carryover.
Imagine the
And
leverage at that point of time brokers were allowing to their clients, and the kind of systematic risk it percolates within the system, which has now been this loophole has been plugged by SEBI. Every hour, broker has to give a screenshot of the span margin and other required margins. So then, what happened, sir? We are little running out of time. So,
okay.
huh,
Then what happened was that I have to take out money.
okay,
So where from to take out money? Take the money out from the best performer. That time the best performer happened to be Reliance,
Reliance, yes, yes.
which was actually all this time from 2014 to 2000 and all this.
So
We are
basically,
talking about
it
2000.
was Reliance was flat, but it had just started moving. Just started moving.
Exactly. Just
Yeah.
started moving, but just started moving, and because of all this previous history of its only all moves to deceive, I thought this is the worst company and it is giving an exit opportunity. Let us get out. So I closed my Reliance positions.
Okay.
And at that time, I had 35,000 uh, Reliance in futures. That means 35 lots.
Okay.
At about 1100 rupees, I got out.
Okay.
1080 to 1100 rupees.
And then it went
Because
to
I had to pay
2000.
for
Then
this.
it went to 2200 very very recently.
Yeah, then it is another story.
Huh.
Then it gave bonus and then it became 2000.
Yeah. Right. So right
So
now,
it
like,
became
what is
basically
this?
four times.
Right now, what is the status of your portfolio?
Yeah, right now, I am again, uh, this account was also like, blown up before this one, before COVID.
Okay. So before COVID, what was the situation in February 2020?
February 2020 was again zero.
Zero.
The reason being that I, as I told you, that I took out money for this office place.
Mm-hmm.
Then I closed my Reliance. I kept IDFC. And unfortunately, or as bad luck would have it, that came this mid-cap circulars from SEBI, and the mutual funds basically reduced their exposure from IDFC Bank and IDFC and such things. So IDFC, which was running at 58, 59 to 55 to 60 range, this came down to 45.
Mm.
I kept that position also, but then this Korean thing started, that this dictator started firing the rockets here and there, and with every rocket up,
Mm-hmm.
market went down.
Mm.
Then I start in between. So this basically from not even 45, it became from 45 to below 40, 30s. So that was the back-breaking thing. And then it came in this period thing. This our banking financial ILFS failure.
ILFS scam happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So at that time it was almost like 32 rupees. Now if you I had taken a concentrated bet in IDFC at this time that okay, it has gone through a lot of problems and now we probably is the time it will recover. But rather than recovering, it became again half.
Mm-hmm.
And if your concentrated position, it becomes half in anything, then you can imagine what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So this became very much down. So at that time, I was debt free. So what I did again I took a lakh
Loan against property.
and
Okay.
yeah, and continued with this. So luckily from 30 levels, it again recovered. and it came up to 54, 55, IDFC Bank.
Okay.
Then I got out of IDFC Bank.
Okay.
And I was reasonably okay. Okay, again, 40, 50 lakhs money with me. So to do what? Then I was looking for ideas that I will not go for any mid cap, not go for anything, only look for the leaders, which I had decided long time back, but was not able to implement. I took a bet that I will only with very large caps on leaders. So I had chosen two leaders. One was Biocon, another was Infosys.
Okay. But why only two? Why
Unfortunately,
not like 10, 15 leaders in every sector?
10, 15 years, I don't have that kind of a money to be taking 10, 15 leaders because first of all, there are not 10, 15 leaders. I mean, it's difficult to figure out and follow all those things. And Infosys was a innovation thing. Uh, and only in other innovation company which I found was this Biocon, which was in a field which is globally, on the global frontiers kind of thing.
Okay.
Unfortunate that when I entered Biocon at about 600, and in the next 6 months, this became from 600 to, I mean, what? It came down to almost about 400.
Yeah. 384. Yes. Yes.
And similar thing more or less happened also with Infosys.
Hmm.
Infosys also from about whatever time I entered, then have first of all the result were not so good or something, so it went down 6%. Then something else happened, and this and that. So Infosys, I got exit much earlier, but with Biocon because I was a little bit more convinced about the innovation-based story, and I wanted to basically stay with that. So even if I, let's say, from 600, I got out at 550. But then when I thought that, okay, now it is looking a little bit stable. So got out at 550, again entered at 560, 570, and then again it goes down to 540. So again, exit, but then again enter when I thought again that maybe the downtrend is over. But this downtrend was actually never over. It got over only at 400 levels. But by that time, it was too late.
Okay. So basically, you then again, whatever you had taken loan against property by February 2020, lot of drawdown you saw.
Yeah, basically by February 20, I had the loans and the account became basically zero because in between, in the month of uh, August to December, I was in ITC in a big way. ITC was running around 255. And I thought that, okay, this is a low price for ITC. So I had again concentrated positions in ITC. And I had some positions in a company called NMDC. The
NMDC.
NMDC, yeah, NMDC I had at around 114, 15 and ITC about 250. But both kept going down. NMDC because of this Dona Malai and such stories.
No, but
So I had to get out.
this idea never stuck to you that you should be diversified enough into 20 to 25 stocks in last 20
No,
years. Never.
25 stocks never.
Okay.
Because 25 stocks will never give me the uh, gain also. And then I will be basically, like going in Nifty.
Okay. So
So
what happened after COVID? Like during COVID and after COVID, what happened?
during COVID, I had basically no money.
Okay. And then after that?
So during COVID, some small money I had, I tried to play through the options. So one of the thing was that I tried Infosys option. Unfortunate for me that during all this time, I never went for options. Only during this COVID time, and that too in I think June or July, I went for Infosys options.
You sold options?
I went Infosys. No, it's not sold.
Bought.
Bought.
Okay. Okay.
Bought, but at that time I think 700 below it was. and I bought 700 calls. Whatever money I had bought the calls. Unfortunate that the expiry, it went below 700 or just about 700. And then I had no stomach to again carry forward that call. Otherwise, the story could have been different, but it was basically a zero thing. And then I was effectively nothing. And now what I did then was, so in this time, if you see the overall, so I made uh, 90 lakhs plus when I paid that 30 lakhs around that income tax.
90 lakhs you made in last 1 year?
No, not now. I said that I paid when the year when I paid 30 lakhs income tax, I made 90 lakhs plus around 1 crore that profit was.
Okay.
Next year, because I made a 90 lakhs loss.
Okay.
After that, it is very small. I think 2-3 lakhs type of loss. Next year again the same story. And now basically what I did was that one house which I have sold it off, and after that I have restarted from February now.
February of 2021.
Yes.
And what is the present capital
So
after selling of that house?
present capital, basically after selling that house, I paid down a little bit of the loans here and there and all these things. So present capital is around 50 lakhs.
50 lakhs. Okay. Okay.
50
Sir,
lakhs is here, and real estate, the other office which I had made in the meantime. So in 2013, I had a flat which was only half finished, the other flat, which I have sold now. And that time I had no other real estate. Now I have this real estate commercial one. So this is on rent.
Okay. So you have basically passive income coming from some other source as well. And as you have retired from a very premier institution, so you must be having other, cushions of financial security, which might have helped you psychologically.
Not that. The only cushion I had all this time was the belief that the risk management is that basically that yes, account can blow. It should not blow, but it can always blow. This is a knowledge which I had. Now, if it blows, do I have a fallback plan?
Okay.
As long as if I have a fallback plan, I can take the risk. If I do not take the risk, it will never. I mean, nothing will work.
Sir,
because not taking the risk, I will not be able to survive.
Yes, yes. It was very nice of you, sir, to share your story so honestly. On Twitter, I have seen people sharing their success stories, and a lot of them I know personally also, and through some common friends also. Half the stories are not true. People show only the profit figures. I mean, they are profitable traders overall, some of them, many of them, but they show only positive MTMs, or most of the positive MTMs, and losses that they show is pretty small. But thank you so much for sharing your story, where you have gone through so many ups and downs in financial life, and it must have created a turbulence in your mind as well. So many events of last 30 years which you have withstood, and still you are in the market with a sizable capital. Hats off to you at an age of 62. So I would like to really thank you, and I hope whoever is the viewer of this content would be able to learn a few things from you. One thing which I have learned is that uh, in financial markets, every 5 years, 7 years, or 10 years, gap down can happen, or your favorite stock can go 20%, 30% down without much of a reason. I mean, reason probably understood at that point of time. Much later, the reason comes. Second thing which I have understood is that concentrated portfolio is probably
That is
that's why
bad.
all these mutual funds also have minimum 40 to 50 stocks in their holding, because they are handling public money. So concentrated portfolio probably injects an amount of luck, because as you said, Reliance was a very good story after 2008. In fact, after Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani's death, both the brothers were poised to make it 10 times. Mr. Mukesh Ambani actually made his wealth 10 times, no doubt about it. And eventually Reliance also gave much better returns than FD, but not during the time when you were holding. That was the unfortunate part. And infrastructure
Exactly.
story after the
This
2G
happens with
scam,
every stock.
after 2G scam and after coal scam and everything, the infrastructure story, the road story, the freight story did not pick up as much. And one of the collateral damage was IDFC, which you were holding. So luck plays a major role. As I said in the middle also, that 3-4 times you were majorly unlucky. One more thing I would like to advise to newer audience, based on the interview which you have shared with us, is that taking loan against property or personal loan and then putting in the stock market, and that too into leverage products, probably it should be done only when we, as you rightly said, when we are ready to make peace with the eventual outcome, eventual worst case scenario. Otherwise, if people, some people who are having financial liabilities towards children, or other liabilities, should not take loan against property. I mean, that's my
Exactly.
takeaway.
So what I can summarize is that during this journey, only one thing I have learned, as you have correctly pointed out, concentrated portfolio.
Hmm.
This is a risk, because all the time when I had diversified things, so even if there was up and down, not panicked. For example, even on the worst day of my whole career, that is the demonetization day, had I not panicked, I would have ended the day on a green.
But so I was coming to that, that the panic comes mostly from the position of leverage. If we have taken 1:5, 1:6 leverage, or 1:10, 1:20 leverage, then the loss will also be 10 times, 20 times, or 5 times on that particular day, on that afternoon. And that any very composed person also will panic, because when we see lifetime of saving 30% or 20% gone in an hour, yeah, we get frozen in disbelief. In fact, I would say that your broker took a right decision to square up positions, to save basically his span margin also, and to save you also from future losses. Eventually market recovers, we all know, but there will be one time, one just tiny time, when we are damn unlucky that market will not recover, as it happened in America. It's called Black Monday, October 10th, I think, 1987. The day of Chidambaram's P note ban, that sometimes things go on becoming difficult and more difficult during the day. So second learning which I have learned is not to leverage beyond 1:2 or probably 1:3 on a long term portfolio.
Now, this is if you have only that one, I would differ a little bit. As I said, the approach I followed was that I have in the market, here I have to be fully in with whatever leverage of, because if it blows out, in what case it will blow out? I'm not doing trading. I am doing it positional work. Okay. Now in
Right.
this positional work, and that too, I'm always long. So if I'm always long, the only reason it will blow out is if market goes into some, for whatever reason, if it makes some kind of a shocking event,
Which,
then
as
we
I
will
said,
have
that the
all.
shocking event comes after every 5 years, 7 years. Some surgical strike will happen, or some,
Exactly. So
U.S. no Korea conflict will happen, or U.S. war, actual U.S. Iran war will happen. What will happen, we don't know, but something keeps happening every 5 years. So my
at,
takeaway is that we should not be leveraged beyond probably 1:3 or 1:2.
now my I would say different, because even if you are leveraged one only two times, loss is a loss. You can still lose quite a lot. But you are saving by two times leverage. I'm saving in another way. Say, for example, I have the real estate against which I can raise the money. If my account blows out, I should have the capacity to raise money again to be in the market again.
Right, sir.
And
Right.
the blowout basically gives me a kind of a circuit filter.
Right. Right. Right.
So this is the approach I have taken. That the when with whatever capital I am in the market, I will go fully. There is no point in saying that, okay, I am here with the 40 lakhs, but then I will hold on my punches. No.
Right, sir.
If my punches land, like I said, from 30 lakhs, we can become 3 crores.
Right, sir.
And
So,
from 3 crores,
yeah. So we are actually running out of time now. So thank
Yeah.
you so much for your contribution, sir. And I hope
Okay,
people who would
welcome.
watch this interview will learn something, and they will make a course correction in their portfolio in their journey of next 30 years. They will be cautious based on your experiences of various time periods. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Sure, sir.
Okay,
Well,
sir.
most
Good.
welcome. And let me know when you make this summary kind of a thing, because I will also like to see others, what the
Sure, sir.
other
I'll
people are
tag
saying.
you on my Twitter account, and once I
Yes.
upload this particular interview, I'll intimate you on WhatsApp also. Thank you so much for
Yes,
your time.
please.
And to our
Thank you.
viewers,
Thank you.
if you have watched till now, don't forget to retweet, subscribe, and like the video. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.